very much, everyone. Yeah, I'm Leila. I have a long involvement with Fellowship of Reconciliation. Oh, hi, Sarah. It's wonderful to see you and to see more activists who have been active for ages. Since I have immigrated to this country in 2000, I know these people who have been days and nights outside doing some activities against illegal wars, not just this one, but also illegal war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and also this one as well. United States, unfortunately, has a very long history in the region, with many bases besides what we know, the illegal invasions of Iraq, and now bombing every day in Iran as a sovereign country themselves, but it's just decided to go. We still don't know why this war is taking place. We've heard once, you know better than I do, we've heard that because of the regime change, because of helping Iranian people, because of nuclear that we have heard for 20 years, while there is no evidence. There are 16 American intelligence services that announce all of them. There is no evidence that Iran is doing a nuclear weapon. So without any evidence, Trump, and with the force of Netanyahu, of course, decided to attack Iran illegally in 12 days last year, and after a couple of months break, so it started again for 40 days. In Iran, they know it as a 12-day war and 40 days war, and now again in 13 nights. Last night, Iran is 8.5 hours ahead of us. So last night in Iran was the 13th night that it was many bombs in many different cities, many different states. Iran is a big country compared to the rest of the Middle Eastern countries. So it's as big as the state of Texas, some people talk about it. And in many different areas of the country has been bombarded. In some areas that it's a question to myself, because they don't have anything specific to be bombed. For instance, in northwest of Iran, in the city of Tabriz, there is no evidence of the nuclear facilities, enriched uranium, or none of this stuff, but still they bombed it last night. I was actually prepared when I come on the stage to ask all of us to be 1 minute, keep it silence for the 17 American soldiers and 4,000 Iranians who have been died and killed in this illegal and horrible war of aggression. It's really sad. You know, the other day I saw 19-year-old Latino girl was killed in this war with no reason. Of course, war doesn't have any good reason any time, but this one is horrible with no reason. And again, in Iran, the worst of all that we know is 168 kids from Minab Elementary School. So this war is only destroying lives of innocents, of all. Women and children, most of all, and also the Iranians in general, who have been dealing with the 40 years of horrible sanctions. Iran has dealt with 40 years of unbelievable, it's more than any country who have ever experienced sanctions. When I was in Iran last year, it was before the 12-day war, I could, even with my pocket of dollar, I had a very difficult time to purchase for food. Just imagine 90 million of people under illegal sanctions for no reason. If there is an intelligence service, they say there is no evidence of nuclear bomb. And Iran is a threat to the Israel. There is no evidence of that. What kind of threat Iran has done to Israel, besides, you know, just being in its own legal borders and want to stay there. And so in this war, you know, I guess we are here all, because most of us know the history, we are here to discuss that, what can we do? What should we do? because as we see, mainly because of the geography of this country, I guess, or other reasons because people are very busy with the bad economy in this country as well. So people don't pay that much attention to daily killing that our government, under our name, with our taxes, they are doing only 7,000 miles away to the people who haven't done anything bad to us. You know, they say Iran is a terrorist country, Iranians are terrorists, and whatever they say. But if you look at if you Google it easily and say how many of Iranians have killed Americans, you will find zero. There haven't been any terrorist activities by any Iranians, or any Americans have been killed by any Iranians. Actually, it is opposite way, because Iran had helped the United States in Afghanistan, fighting with Taliban, and later helped the region, the whole region, with destruction of Daesh or ISIS, Islamic military or something. And so Iran has helped, not even the region, but also the United States to get its own goal, which was, some people say Daesh was a goal of the United States to destroy it, but there are other narratives that talk about the United States actually helped somehow indirectly to give Daesh some power, or ISIS. And so Iran has been really helpful in all of these. And the only thing, when I think about it days and nights, and I think, what was the reason for this? That as an Iranian American, I'm sitting here and I'm suffering for my country, for this country that I see is going down, the economy is going down, and most people who have been targeted to this very bad economy is us, average Americans. And I look at the other side, my homeland, and talking to my friends and families, and see they live every minute by fear. And they don't have a normal life. 92 million people don't have a normal life. Just because our president decided, as one of his speeches, he said for fun, to just kill those people and to just attack them. So there are many things happened in Iran besides the 168 school children that a couple of them actually, they were found by their DNA just 2 days ago, and because they couldn't find the bodies of these children. So there was a ceremony for them just 2 days ago. And there have been many other, like a religious leader of the country, which also was a political leader, has been assassinated. Many things that, even if we had some hope, I had some hope like 2 years ago, last year, that these two countries will directly communicate with one another, and diplomacy will work and all of that. But every day, everything gets even worse. How can we, Iranians say, how can we talk to Americans who have killed the leader of our country, who have their hands of blood, it's full of blood of our kids and innocent people and civilians who haven't done anything. And so it's getting really worse and worse by day. And I really don't know what to do except being more active myself. I was with the other groups, like with a couple of members of Fellowship of Reconciliation, of Veterans for Peace, of NIAC, National Iranian American Council, with Code Pink and a couple of other people. We often visit the Capitol, and 2 days ago it was, Hexet went to the Senate to ask for more money, $90 billion more, and from our taxes, and go over there and ask for money. So it was the disruption in the building in the Senate. I did that, and it was the second time in my life that I did. The first time was just 2 months ago, but I think I got brave a little bit and did it for the second time. I felt good. I was arrested and they took me to jail and all of this, but I could breathe deeply because I thought, I'm doing for, those parents who lost their children. I did something to be voice of those people who just want to live. And but it was a good feeling that I thought I'm doing something. I know you all have these feelings that every day you wake up, you want to do something to be the voice of voiceless, to do something, to act. And so I guess mostly we are here to find out together, like a brainstorming, what can we do besides petitions, besides interruptions or disruption of the power when they are speaking the non-truth. So we are the truth that we are going to talk, and writing and demonstrations. But besides these that I'm sure all of you are doing daily, what can we do to stop this war machine? It needs to be stopped. And before it kills itself, I'm really worried for both my countries. Even this country is killing itself, it's destroying its economy, it's destroying its face. Iran, after September 11, the only nation who went through, candlelight night and sent a love message to America in the region was Iranian people. But right now, you go to Iran, I see the interviews, people all pointing at the United States, that it's destroying us, it's destroying our life, is allowing Israel also, or helping Israel after Gaza and Lebanon. Right now, Israel is doing the same thing that did in Gaza, they're doing the same thing in Lebanon. So after that, the United States still is supporting this evil Bibi Netanyahu to do the same thing for the rest of the region. So United States even is losing the one country that loved this nation, but they are also pointing out at the United States. What can we do to save our countries here in the United States, and also in my case, my country, my homeland in Iran? The last thing I want to say, which is always in my mind, besides the beautiful lives of people, the 4,000 people have lost their life during this war. Besides that, I don't know how many of you have ever chance to visit Iran. I know my colleagues here, they have visited, in case of Ed, actually more than 30 times maybe. It's a beautiful place, not just geographically, historically belong to all of us, not just Iranians. It's a part of our history, it's a part of our human history, that we need to keep it, not like Iraq, not like Syria. They destroyed those places, not like Afghanistan, they destroyed those places. We should really be aware there are beautiful historical monuments in Iran that are in danger. And we need to do something for them as well, that some of them have been damaged in the past, during this past year, but hopefully it will stop somehow and nothing will happen to them. So I guess I'm going to end with one joke among Iranians these days. They say Israel and the United States destroy our bridges. We ask our army to destroy their bridges. They destroy our hospitals. We ask to destroy their hospitals. They destroy our historical monuments. We cannot ask them to destroy their historical monuments because there is nothing in Israel under historical monuments. And yes, the United States unfortunately have done some war crimes, destroyed hospitals, schools, bridges, and even some areas of clean water and electricity. Thank you very much for listening to me.
We don't take time for questions,
yes.
But could you say just a bit about history and the history that leads us up to this moment?
Yeah, the history, I always thought...
You're going to have to be on mic. We couldn't hear anything.
Oh, Mel asked about the history that had led us to be in this situation right now. I guess we need to go back for almost half a century back when the Shah was in power and was installed by the United States, or even before him, his father was installed by the Britain. And so people were unhappy. Mostly, let's start it from 1953 because it was a election and people were very, nation was very tired of the Shah and his government, and they decided to have a free election. And Dr. Mohammad Mossadegh came to power and announced the Iranian oil to be national. So that was something that Americans and British didn't like it, because till that moment, especially the Britain took a lot of advantage of the Iranian oil. By then, actually, United States had a very positive figure, was very positive in the Iranian mind. They thought, okay, we had a very horrible experience with Britain and with Russia. They took some of our lands, we had many wars with them. But then the United States was a new power, and we thought, okay, we found a powerful friend who is also doesn't have any animosity with us. But unfortunately, US entered in this illegal again actions. It was a coup against Mohammad Mossadegh in 1953, and they took Mossadegh out of office and they reinstalled the Shah of Iran. That after that started many horrible things. Many people went to jail, many people been killed, and then the population of Iran was under 30 million. Right now it's over 90 million. So by that, the situation became really tense. No relationship basically between the people and the government, who was the Shah. It was in the 60s, many places in the world, they had the revolutions, they had uprisings. Iran was not separate from that. Were young Iranians, mostly in schools, either in Iran, in graduate schools, either Iran or in the United States even. So they became really active. They wanted to change the situation in Iran, get rid of the Shah. And I personally think 1979 was the reaction to 1953, the revolution in Iran. And mostly, unfortunately, something that most of you have in mind about the revolution, and you learned then, it was the hostage crisis. No one in Iran is proud of what that happened, the hostage crisis, because many of those people have had difficult time, of course, very bitter experience, but still that was a reaction to the American action in 1953. Iranian students, young and without experience, but they knew something the Americans did. It was destruction of their political involvement in 1953. They wanted to close down any actions by the United States. In 1979, they got the hostages for 440 days that we all know. But after that, I wanted to say I was not born, but I'm lying. I was 5 years old at the time of revolution. And then, I don't remember of those days, but I was teenager when the war, Iran-Iraq war ended, because the time of revolution became a really difficult time in Iran from any perspectives, from economic perspective, from political perspective, and unfortunately, because immediately the war with Iraq, under the actually green light of the United States, started. Iraq started to invade part of Iran, in southern part of Iran, and got support from most countries in the world, including and specifically by the United States. But for 8 years, people were quiet, and we lost, whatever we did the revolution for, it was for democracy. But we didn't get that democracy because the war immediately started, and the whole population got around the flag. They didn't care about anything besides saving their own countries. So for 8 years it was this war, and after that it was a reform came to the country. They wanted to do reform in economy, and then later in politics. And it had a lot of ups and downs, many difficult times, many happy days of our small success, sometimes big losses throughout all of this process of 47 years. But Iran started, one thing that Iran did, and I never knew till this war, it was everything became domestically powerful. Iran started to make everything within the country, on economy, on production of goods. And basically, if you close down Iran's border today, they don't need a lot of things from outside. They made all these missiles themselves, all these drones themselves. There is no power, no pride on that because it's military still, but they could defend themselves. That is the pride part, that they didn't allow the enemy invade the country, which was I think it's a home for 92 million people, and they are very proud. Anywhere I go to talk, I say Iranians have a lot in common with Americans. One, we are very proud, and secondly is we think we are the best in the world. So it's with Americans we have this one we share. So the war was supported by the United States. It started by the United States. One of the things that I have done a research in Iran and made me so angry, it was what happened to women during the war and after the war, and that was specifically by the weapons, women in the borders who were engaged in the war directly, because the war, they said, we didn't engage in a war for no reason. The war came into our homes. We were sitting in our home and suddenly we lost everything, our family members. So many of these women stayed in the border to defend their land by pots and pans at the beginning, because the army also was not in the control of the Shah when Shah left the country. It was a major part of the army was controlled by the United States. So because of that, Iran made IRGC, that today we hear them as a terrorist, but they are the main military force that they can defend the country. And if we call them terrorists, I don't know, in Europe actually they label them terrorists. But anyway, so the army with mainly IRGC, and IRGC at the beginning was only developed by people, by average Iranians, in the streets. They started to defend. I interviewed some of these women, they said, so I got my pots and pans and went to the border to defend my home, and border was basically their alley, their streets. And later, people got weapons and they started to stop Iraqis. One city in Iran was 1 year under control of Iraq, but later Iranian could defend that. One of the horrible things happened in that war that we never should forget. It was the use of chemical weapons, that it was used against Iranians and against Iraqi citizens, civilians. And unfortunately, on this one, Germany was the one who provided these chemical weapons to Saddam Hussein. And many of these people who were hit by the chemical weapons and their whole life got impacted by that, they were sent to Germany to get cure. And mainly it was because German doctors probably, or German military, wanted to see how their weapons worked on the human race in Iran. And then in 2003, when Saddam Hussein was in court and was asked about the horrible things that he did to Iraq, nobody asked about the horrible things, which was the use of chemical weapons against the Iranians. No one asked him, why did you use it, who gave them to you, and nothing. So that is gone, and nobody talks about it. Actually, the city that the United States yesterday bombed, and 8 people lost their life, it's the border of Iran-Iraq, the city named Shalamche, that almost 1,000 people, just because of the use of chemical weapon in that year, they just froze to death. And they couldn't continue their life. I go to Iran still today, and I try to take some eye drops for some of these people who are hit by the chemical, and they can, if you are talking to someone who was 18 years old then, 47 years ago, and now they cannot stop their tears, it just comes. Even their kids have these problems. The second generation are born with these problems. And because of the United States has done the sanctions, they said the medicine is not under sanction. That is right, that is true. Actually, Iran made 95% of its own medicines. Its production happened inside Iran, and it was one of the places that Israel bombed on the first days in 12-day war last year, that Iran cannot produce its own medicine right now. They are working to rebuild it. But one of these reasons of this medicine cannot go to Iran, it is because of the insurance companies don't insure shipments to go there with the medications, with the medicines that people need, people like these victims of chemical weapons. So there are a lot of intertwine of the daily life of Iranian and that is under severe effect and impacts by whatever United States has done. And what made me so, or maybe many Iranians or Americans so angry is when they talk about the human rights. And they don't understand, after Gaza, nobody believed them. What kind of human rights you are talking about? When the mothers bag their kids in the garbage bag, the remains of their kids, and take them home in Gaza, and you are talking about human rights and do many of these sanctions because of human rights violation, Iranians. So there are many things that make us angry, but I would love us to have this conversation, how we can take this anger into a positive way to stop this madness and allow other people live their life. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.